Hello and welcome to the show, everybody. You may notice the absence of an intro. We are having some growing pains, but we got everything else here. We got all the important stuff. We have, what, 20% of vintage?
Something like that.
Oh, you got one of those? So I got a cool one too, man.
Yeah, he's got a different color.
Black. I put it up here. I've lost it.
I like it. I like people that are into the merchandising. That's awesome.
Ted's responsible for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very good. You do this?
it's right here
No,
in front of me.
I have a relative who works for the company.
Very cool.
Ted's been my rock. He's done a lot of good things.
So, let me, without further ado, actually introduce the people sitting to the left and right of me. This is Alicia Summers McLeod.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And Ted Ellis.
Nice to be here.
It only took me about 5 or 6 tries to remember his name. I'm terrible with names. I'm Bob. Now, we're here today to talk about the band Vintage, and I had a chance to check them out the other night. Really, really good band. Really good band.
Thank
I
you.
was really
Thank you so
impressed.
much.
I tried to get video, and my video didn't quite pan out. The sound quality was not there. It turns out the tavern's a very difficult place to shoot video.
It's a very difficult place to hear what we're doing, too.
Right. But you
It's
couldn't
a
tell
good
it from
place.
outside. You sounded really good.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about the formation of this band. I understand that Ted here is instrumental, along with you.
For many, many years, I had a dream of having an oldies band. In mid-'80s, I guess, played in a band called Nostalgia out of Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
And we did all oldies, which at that point in time was 50s, 60s.
Right. It's changed a bit.
80s, 90s are oldies.
I remember
now.
those days.
We won't go into how old I am, but at any rate, our leader and fabulous guitar player, Tom Connor, TJ, passed away, and that band ended. So that was my dream for a long, long time, and finally had an opportunity to put something together again. And Ted came along just at the right time. We began to work. We've made a lot of changes since a year ago. That's how long we've been in existence. And a lot of changes, but we still have Ted and me, the start, and we're moving forward. We're getting some good guys, and we're enjoying things. Just
So have you
moving
had
along.
to restructure a couple of times?
Several times, yeah.
Several times, yeah. I understand that because I've got a band and we've had to do some restructuring as you go. And I think one of you said a little while ago that that's just kind of what you deal with when you deal with bands. So if you're out there trying to put a band together and you keep having the same issue, it's just natural. Keep
And
going.
don't quit your day job because you won't get rich.
No, you definitely will not get rich. Tell me your take on it, Ted.
Well, this band was Alicia's concept from the start. Vintage, the idea, just oldies, the good stuff, the stuff that we all remember, that we all love. And I've just been, step by step, I've been right with her the whole way. She says something, I'm going, that's exactly what I was thinking. But
right.
she's just a great leader, and it's a great concept for a band. And I've just been have been having a wonderful time playing this music.
That's cool. And what are there, like 7 or 8 of you?
It depends. It changes. Really, we have 7 members, and we can do anything from a trio to the full band.
Right.
Most of the time when we play, it incorporates 5 members.
Right.
Most of the time.
I saw Grandin Eagle and Jack Snipe up on stage with y'all the particular night that I went to watch you. And Grandin's a great guy.
Yes.
I'm good friends with Jack and some of the other people I did not know. Name the people that are in your band right now.
Melanie Emerson Taft is a fantastic saxophone player, and she's played all over the world, played with some of the bigger names such as Ace Cannon, and she's just a fine person. Jose Castellanos is our drummer. However, he works sound, as a lot of you know, in the area and
Right,
around the
he does,
southeast,
yeah.
and stays very busy, and that was already in existence when he came in with us. So as often as he's able to, he's with us.
Right.
Jack is also a great drummer, so he'll swap out from time
That
to
is true.
time. We used Gary Bruce the other night, who's a fantastic musician
was.
and such an easy guy to work with. And we've kind of flip-flopped around. And in fact, several of our players are able to play more than one instrument and do different vocal parts. So we mix it up from time to time. We never know exactly what song or what show is going to require what person on which instrument.
Or how it's
Makes
going to
it
work out.
Very interesting, yeah. It helps in a lot of cases, though, to be able to swap out like
It
that.
does. And I heard the word off the cuff, or the phrase off the cuff, that night. And like you were talking about, the drummer was sitting in with you. You'd never know that it was like, he was just sitting in. It's like, it sounded like y'all been playing together for 30 years.
He's fantastic. Gary Bruce, he made one rehearsal, and he knows what he's doing. And he
Yeah.
sat down and he said, just keep an eye on me, watch me, and I'll read you. And that's, that's the wonderful thing about musicians who love the music. There's a difference in a technician and a musician.
Right,
and if you
right.
love the music and you feel the music, you make eye contact and you almost know what each other's thinking. You know
Right.
what's about to happen, and Ted will look at me and I know he's fixing to not be able to hit that note because for that reason or for that night for some reason he's got a sore throat or whatever, and I know I'm going to come in and hit that note, or vice versa.
And she's great at it.
Well, we all do that for each other, and
Yeah.
and that's the difference in loving the music and playing the music.
Yeah, and let's have a look at the picture. We got
Want a picture of the whole band?
Yeah, picture of the whole
Which
band.
time?
Okay.
Which time?
We've got several.
Well, I promise you it's on. It's just a few second delay on here, but these guys can see it. Definitely. It's actually you are on keyboards on the far
Yes.
left, and you can actually see it now on your phone if you'd like to take a look. And
Let's watch us.
the
Have to watch my data.
Yeah, we're still doing the difficulty thing, the technical, but Brian is trying to pull it up, so maybe he can keep tabs on it.
We have several pictures on our Vintage Facebook page, and they start with this in the beginning and move forward, and you see different members as the band has evolved. And I think that's really interesting. My husband is an old car enthusiast, so he's got, I think it's a 29 Ford and a
Oh,
30 model
nice.
Ford, and we've had some pictures
Some
made with
beautiful,
those.
beautiful
Kind of fits
vehicles.
right into the name Vintage, and we love those pictures. We've got to get some more now that we have different members.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
We're
It's
going to
always-
hit that perfect. There's one right there. We're going to hit that perfect solution. But it's really hard, and you know this, Brian. It's hard to keep steady members unless you're all retired and have nothing else going on in your world, and that doesn't happen.
That's true. That's true. And you never know. Whenever you have a band, you just never know what you're going to get when you bring somebody in, unless have known that person for years and years.
And
years.
that's no guarantee either, really.
Right,
Because there are
that's true.
responsibilities, obligations, and a lot of other things that come into play.
Oh, there we are.
There we are.
You can see
Hi,
us on
guys.
Facebook on the
Hello.
show page. But if you're seeing this, you already are.
Does that mean I can talk to myself now and nobody laughs at me?
Well, I'm not going to promise about the no laughing at you. They laugh at us every week.
Again, we have Vintage. And in a little while, Tim is going to attempt to run a commercial to see. We're going to use you guys for guinea pigs to see if this is working, if we actually have a glitch in the system. But
Yeah,
not just yet.
I
We're
don't
gonna-
think we're going to have sound. But
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have sound on it. But so now you play around. You play.
Excuse me? When I was younger.
I'm not touching
A
that.
lot younger.
I
That
love
was
it when you do
good. That was really good.
I caught you at the tavern. You play around. I
There
caught
he
you at
goes
the
again.
tavern.
Oh, there he
I love
goes.
it. I love
There he
it. I
goes.
love where this is going.
This is
now
a
you guys-
one-liner
His
show.
face.
Yeah, now you guys see why I enjoy being behind the scenes.
It's a one-liner show.
Is that
That's about the time when she would run her hand through your hair.
right? What's left of it?
Yeah.
This is good.
I understand that very well.
Now, where all do you play besides the tavern? Will I say?
Excuse me. Goodness, choked me up.
It's one of my talents.
I know that. Actually, as I said, we've only been in existence about a year.
Right.
Our first show was in Montgomery with the Montgomery Area Musicians Association, of which I'm a member.
Cool.
And we hosted one of their monthly jams. And then we'll have to tell you the story about going out to the cemetery. Now, that's an
Yeah,
awesome
actually, I
story.
wanna hear that story.
Oh, that's a good one. Anyway, and we moved from there to Jefferson's. A friend of mine owns Jefferson's. She and her husband in downtown Opelika. We played their outdoor Halloween contest,
Cool.
or confab, what have you. And since then, we've just played a few little private things. We've done the Tavern at Main Street. And again, evolving, changing members, trying to regroup from time to time. We haven't played that many actual shows. Now, we have some private parties coming
Right.
up. We have our trio work. So we're just getting our feet wet, actually.
Tell me about the trio.
At this point in time, it's Ted and Grandin Eagle and myself. We played for the first time last night. It was kind of amazing. Patricia Suddeth, another musician friend of all of ours, texted me, I think it was Wednesday, and said, I'm trying to help a fellow get his place opened up. A little place called Homer's Lounge. There's a guy's running for this person who can't manage it anymore, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Would you be interested in helping out and coming and playing for an evening? I said, yeah, sure. What night? She said, a Friday or a Saturday. And I said, Saturdays would probably be better for us.
Yeah.
The very next day, which was Thursday, she says, you're on for this Saturday It's already been advertised. Now, we hadn't even had a rehearsal. Still haven't.
Ouch.
And so we went in absolutely blind and cold and played it last night. Had a ball.
That's
Went
great.
over well. So that one's brand new, too. It's brand new, too. Everything is new, except us.
Right. Yeah, where did you get the name Vintage?
Well, before you
Are
go
we
into
going to
that,
talk
Brian,
birthdays here?
Are we're gonna tell everybody's ages now?
Vintage, really, the old music, the music that we grew up with, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, little 90s,
Yeah.
the older music, what I call the real music.
Yeah.
I used to laugh at my mother for using that expression. This is real music, back when I was young, and I would go, oh my God, there she goes again. But, yeah, the vintage music to me is the real music, and that's what we
Right.
wanted to try to keep alive. The country has changed so much. We haven't played a lot of country at the tavern, but we will play it in a lot of other places, and we will even do some Frank Sinatra or whatever. It
So
depends
you
on
have
the
a
venue.
really wide variety of things that you do.
A little bit of everything, exclude bluegrass and opera, and we're not beyond bluegrass, so we'll see how that goes.
and you
And
know,
we
I
have
got two
we have
things.
even done "Baby It's Cold Outside."
Yes, we have.
Wow.
Yes, we have.
The name Vintage,
Montgomery's
I
right.
absolutely love the name Vintage.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Due to the fact that I actually used to play in a 50s 60s club a while back, but I guess the stigma of the name of oldies, I don't like that. I truly don't.
But vintage is like a
But
fine
vintage,
wine.
exactly. Vintage has got a
Fine.
classy tune.
There
That's
you
right.
go.
I like that.
That was
That's
that was
right.
my concept.
Wine.
Exactly.
The name
Cigars.
oldies,
That's it.
people just don't realize that at one time these people that they were playing were at the pinnacle of the artistic level. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
There you
that's
go.
what
And
they
we
used.
have really tried to live up to that name.
And I'm sure you do. I wish I could have got a chance to see you. I did get to see a video of you, but I also wanted to mention to Alicia here that I was absolutely jealous. I was looking on her Facebook page, which I tend to do to try to catch up with people. She went backstage at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, that was
okay.
awesome.
I turned like several shades of green when I saw that.
I have been so fortunate, and I have to use the word blessed. And I say blessed because although I don't walk the walk so well from time to time because I'm very human, but I think God had a big hand in putting our group together because every one of us had a particular need at that particular time. And because we came together, we were able to fill each other's needs. But, I've been very blessed in working with a fellow in Montgomery to open a venue, which the venue is open, but I'm here doing this, which is something I prefer more. We worked 5 years with him. But in the process of doing that, I made a lot of contacts that were supposed to be acts that would come in and play for us at that venue. And I got in touch with these people and had some friends of friends of friends. And as a result, I've met so many wonderful people. Lori and Herb Bennett in Nashville. We go to their place. She is Anita
they are
Carter's
great folks.
Anita Carter's daughter, Mama Maybell's granddaughter.
Wow.
And all of their little circles of friends. And
Johnny Cash's niece.
Johnny Cash's niece. There you
Wow.
go. And all of these people are just real people. They're the real people, and they haven't forgotten their roots. And they just welcomed me in, and Ted, and later on, with open arms. And it's taught us a lot. And of course, we're not there for any other reason but just to enjoy the music.
Right,
And for
right.
that reason, they're like, hey, let's have a good time.
Yeah.
And we'll go back. We went to the Super Bowl party that they have every year, and we'll go back to
great.
Herbstock when it's Herb's
Wow.
birthday on Labor Day weekend. But where were we going with this? Oh, I went backstage at the Opry.
The Opry.
Again, we're vintage. 65th birthday. I started playing music in.
Now she told how old she is.
Better be quiet, boy. I'll fire you in heart. That was 3 years ago, too. No, I played music with Mike Morris and Jose Castellanos when I met Jose and Mike in 1991 when Nostalgia broke up. Played at Dr. AJ's at the Holiday Inn on Phoenix City Bypass. And Mike Morris started playing music at an early age with Aaron Tippin. They had a
Wow.
garage band in Columbia. So at any rate, when I told Mike I wanted to go to Nashville, which I'd been there several times, but I wanted to go to Nashville.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
yeah.
And I said, ask Aaron if he can get me some good seats. Can he pull some strings?
Right.
He said, okay. So long story short, we did, and ended up backstage. Little Jimmy Dickens. I took Marcia Short with me. Now, she's a hoot on a trip. I'm going to tell
I
you
can
what.
imagine.
Ask her how I caught my hair on fire in her truck. There's not a terrible story. I leaned over. She had a candle burning in the console like an idiot. Thank you, Marcia. And I leaned over to pick up my purse when we got to the B&B, and I heard something go,
Oh,
and I went, "What is
man.
that?" Oh my God, that's my hair. Now
That's called a new wave hairdo.
Wow. What's that smell?
we had a ball. But went backstage, met all these people. Little Jimmy Dickens was there, and Marcia had loaned me this fabulous dress that I didn't think I could wear, and she made it look nice on me. And he just hugged us. We were both way over his head and didn't want to even leave to go to his next gig, and hung on. Oh, it was wonderful. And I watched the Opry that night from stage right. And it was a tornado that nearly swept us off the street when we got there. So we stayed in the Ryman for a good while because it had not passed completely,
Right,
even
yeah.
after the show was over. And so we're all just hanging out backstage like I'm one of the crew. And I took my
Fun.
little book for everybody to sign. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's one of my. I actually posted it with somebody else because I posted a picture of the Ryman, and I said, this is on my bucket list before I go.
Yeah.
Is to go to Nashville and just take, I guess, the 10-cent tourist tour.
Right, yeah.
Go to the Ryman, the Bluebird, and so forth and so on.
Well, if you want to go to the place now, if you like the country music, the
Oh, I
good
love
old
country.
genuine country music, forget those places. Go to Robert's Western World.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
David Tanner,
Oh,
shout
yeah.
out. Robert's Western World on Broadway, because they stick with the traditional country music from
Wow,
40s,
the real
50s,
thing.
60s, and
And it
tear
smokes.
it
It
a new
smokes.
one, boy. I'm telling you.
You heard it
is
here first.
Awesome. It is
Awesome.
awesome. Fantastic. No, I'll tell you that later. Go ahead.
Ask her about Hank Williams' grave.
Yeah,
Oh, wait,
actually, I was
let me
getting
tell
to
you
that.
quickly. I will go ahead and tell you this. Many, many years ago, when I was young and had all these great dreams and aspirations of being a star,
Right.
I had some more connections back then. I've been very blessed in that respect. So I go to Nashville, this is in the 80s, and I sang at all the right places, and I saw all the right people. And at one point in time, I snubbed, by accident, George Strait and his band at the bullpen, walked off stage, and they go, "Hey, will you sit down with us, sweetie?" And they said, "We want to talk to you." And I said, "I'm with someone."
She thought they were trying to pick her up.
And I did. It was terrible. So I blew that. But at any rate, I was sponsored into the CMA on that trip, and found out that I could have made the effort to try to get a contract or what have you, and it was so political, very political, and what they told me was not something I wanted to hear. And I said, I'm not going to be owned heart, body, and soul. I'm not going to have somebody else tell me when to wake up, when to go to sleep, what to eat. And I came back home, and that was the opportunity that I was given to just go in and do a solo job. It turned out to be an 18-year gig, house gig, at the Holiday Inn on the corner of the Interstate and Highway 280 in Opelika. Had a blast. It was wonderful until I walked in and they were tearing out the dance floor because they had sold the place. But it was the most wonderful thing that happened. But I never paid my CMA dues, and still am not a CMA member, even though it was sponsored in.
Wow.
Broke my heart. I was stupid. I had no idea how that might come in handy one day.
Yeah. I
And now
can
I'm
see that.
old and it doesn't matter.
And you're talking about the you didn't want to be owned heart, body, and soul, and all that, and that's the thing. There's a lot of people that have aspirations, and I've got aspirations. I want the world, but it's like, do you really do? Like these industries, they do not just hand you a fat check and say
That's
go
right.
play. There's a lot of strings attached.
And
You just practically have to buy your way into it.
Yeah.
You certainly do. And unless you make like so many platinum hits, you don't really even get a big chunk of that pie.
Right.
Because all of these other technical people are getting the big bucks, and the writers and the producers and the sound and all of these people, and you're getting you're getting your name on a sign.
Right.
I just wrote my little song, name on the sign of the Holiday Inn, got it registered with Holiday Inn, and nobody's ever heard it, but I didn't have to pay anybody.
That's a great song.
Hey,
It's a great song.
what's his name? Farrell. He did the song "Happy," whatever it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
I just saw the other day where he had like 200 and something million downloads on Pandora. $2,000. That's how much that man
Yeah.
got for the songwriting dues.
Isn't that sad?
And that song was a monster hit.
It surely was. Don't worry.
There's a.
Wow.
I remember going to the River Center. It was some years ago, back when Brent Lindley was still in town. He and I went there, and we got a chance to play. Looking back now, I wonder if they were recording. Anyway, it was a group of like professional record people or whatever,
Yeah.
and but they weren't there to like to pick people up. They were there like to give advice or whatever. And they're talking about all these things. You had to have press CDs. Basically, you had to do everything before they would pick you up. And I was like, and I asked the question. I said, so if that's the way it is, then what's the point of having a label, because you've already done it all? And he said, stay indie. He said that, and supposedly, I don't know who these, I can't remember now, but these professionals from the industry were like, their advice was to stay indie because it had gotten so thoroughly, to where they didn't have to do anything. You had to do
Like an
everything, and
assembly
they get
line.
all your
That's
profit.
right. And now more so than ever, because there's no more LPs, needless to say, or 45s. There's no more 8 tracks. There's no more cassettes. There's no more CDs to amount to anything. It's all digital.
Right.
So,
Downloading.
Yeah.
And I'd say this is something that I've gotten into lately, is making my own ads for my own stuff. And it's a learning process. You make some stupid ads, and then you finally get one that's kind of cool or whatever. But get your stuff on CD, baby. Make your own ads and promote yourself.
There you go.
That's the best thing you can do.
Well, that's kind of good for us because I think that's what's really kind of pushing in the advent of home studios and like right now, guys, you can't tell, but we're pretty much in a garage right now. But
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
it's a
people
cool
just go, they
garage.
turn it. Thank you very much. It took a lot to do this, but people just come out and do their own studios because they can do everything.
And there's hundreds of thousands of studios in bedrooms across America,
Exactly.
across the world.
There are.
Exactly. In fact, I was speaking with a gentleman yesterday, and
This is Pepsi.
he has a video set up, and it's in his bedroom.
Oh.
And his job is he works at QVC and with the NFL and whatever. But when he gets home, his studio is in his bedroom.
Yeah. If you can,
And
all that matters is what fills the screen.
I know I've said this story before, but I don't know. I was listening to him yesterday when I was out here. There's a band called the Cowboy Junkies.
I've
that
heard
was
Oh
big
yeah, they're
back
great.
in the 90s.
Yeah, they're great.
And they did an album called the Trinity Sessions. And they actually went to Canada, found an old church, and the acoustics were great.
Oh, I bet.
They got the entire band, they put them around one microphone. And then their lead singer, which was Margot, she actually, the people that had been in the church before had left a sound system. And they had wondered how we're going to get the vocals over everything else with one microphone. So they said, well, I know, we'll let her, take a microphone, sing over the thing. And it turned out to be one of the best albums
my
you can ever
goodness.
get. And it costs like almost nothing to make.
Right.
That's
right.
fantastic.
And with today's technology, I've been preaching for a while the wonders, the marvels of modern cell phones, because you can shoot cinematic quality stuff with a cell phone now. But it's like there's so much you can do with just a little bit of stuff. Now, of course, when it comes to playing out live, of course that still takes, you have to have the equipment.
Still
how
backbreaking hard work.
Yes.
many times have you ever gone to a show of a really, really what I call brand name star, one of the big stars, and you go, what happened? Because it's live. And people don't understand how much is fixed when you go into
Yeah.
the
When
studio.
you're in the studio and
but
all
when you're
the-
live, baby, you're live.
Yes.
But there are some bands that are really amazing. I went to see Stacy and I went to see Depeche Mode in Atlanta when they came there a couple of years ago, and they pretty much sounded like the record.
That's cool.
Yeah. There's of course that's not always the case. There's a lot of people that do not sound live like.
And
they
I'm
do.
I'm pretty sure we'd sound like our records if we had any.
Right.
We're waiting to cut our next cardboard
right,
one.
that's right.
Cardboard
But y'all,
album.
I was at the tavern, the other night. I can't remember what night it was. Was it Friday?
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yes.
My days. But y'all sounded really, really good.
Well, thank you.
Y'all were tight. Y'all were. I've heard some bands that have been around a lot longer that are not as tight as you guys sounded.
Wow, thank
So,
you.
We
I
work
mean-
hard at it, and we love what we do.
That's the
Yeah.
difference, the enjoyment.
Yes.
I think that's the big difference.
Now we're
Don't
gonna.
think we don't make some major mistakes.
Oh, sure, sure.
I remember, what was it, last month? Jose is, to me, Jose Castellanos is the best of the best. I mean, he is just miles above. I just think he's an awesome musician. Things happen, and we were going to do a particular song, and I'm getting ready to start, and I'm thinking, what is he playing?
This is not the right rhythm.
What is he playing? It must be right because it's Jose. It got to be right. But what is he playing?
I must be wrong.
And I looked up at him and he goes, my bad. Twirls the stick and he just keeps on going. I'm going to there's the song.
Had a little oopsie.
And that happens.
That happened, for Jose, that must happen at least, once every 2 or 3 years.
Oh, he says it happens all the time, but I don't think I've heard him make but 1 or 2 mistakes in my life. One of them was hitting me in the back of a sunburned leg with a drumstick, but we won't go there.
Yeah, you want to watch mistakes? Watch the replay of this show. It's
Hey, Tim, do you want to give that commercial a try?
a try. Yeah, it's good. It may be done in mime format, but we'll give it a shot.
Do we have dead air now?
Okay, guys, we were going to give it a try for a commercial, but it just didn't work out. I have a brand new program, and apparently he forgot to put the audio codec that's going to pick up my board in it. So we at least wanted to try it, but we're going to come back to the show and talk for a little few more minutes.
Oh, yeah. We got that experiment done. Guinea pigs. You go about your business now.
Thank you very much.
Tell me about the Montgomery.
Oh, my goodness.
And,
Okay, so we play at the
Rail Yard?
Rare Yard Brewing Company.
Rail Yard Brewery. Or
Really
something.
cool little place in
Yeah.
downtown Montgomery. And Kurt Richardson was with us. Ronnie Coleman was playing drums at the time. Melanie was playing sax with us. And Grandin, of course. Ted and myself. We got done, and we decided, or Kurt actually decided, that we would go out to Hank Williams' grave. I was kind of stunned. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. Well, first of all, we couldn't find a way to get in. Kurt found a way to get in. So we go in. And we had just gotten all out of our cars and headed over to the gravesite, and we see lights. And we see a little reflection of a blue light.
oh.
I'm like, oh, my goodness. And so I run back. We're this, we're that, we're doing this. And he's like, yeah, there we go. Can you get that? Here, you hold it. You know where to hold it. At any rate, long story short, the policeman comes up, and he's a musician, or he has a son who's a musician. He's also an amateur or semi-professional photographer. He stood out there with us and talked for the longest. He didn't have a problem in the world with us going in there. But somebody posted a couple of days later about, wasn't that rather spooky? And was it you who said, oh, no, not at all?
Yes.
And I said, now, Ted, you know.
Then we got to carrying on about
We
it.
heard that train over there in the distance, and I could have sworn I heard something.
A
moaning.
whippoorwill.
Woods behind a
Heard that
whippoorwill. And I sat there and scared myself.
Oh my gosh, the whippoorwill.
I'm so lonesome I could cry.
There you
That
go.
was really a fun evening.
Oh, it was.
I'm not going to
bet it
say
was.
that's the exact song I was listening to yesterday.
Was it?
Cowboy Junkies, they did a cover tune of that.
And I think that picture, and the policeman took this picture, by the way. Oh, that was another one. There was no policeman there. I did see a little transparent figure, looked like in one of those old timey police.
Shadow moving
I
across
don't know
the
who
road.
took that picture. Ah. That was a fun night.
It was.
Really was.
Now, I have a question. You play bass, is that
I do.
correct? You
I do.
My brother was, he put a post on Facebook this morning, and he said, I've had about a gazillion bass guitars throughout my career. And he said there are certain ones, and I wanted to ask you, there were certain ones that he wished that he would have never have gotten rid of. Mm-hmm. So he posted all the pictures of his babies that that it's now gone. Right. Do you have that same thing? Do you have basses that you've gotten rid of?
No, no. I have 5 bass guitars, and they are starting with a Hofner, made in Germany, Paul McCartney bass in about 1975. I still have that. And I played that for many years before I bought a solid body bass, which was a PV 5-string, and I still have that. And these days, I switch between a Fender Jazz bass, which I just acquired in the last year.
Right.
And I have an Ibanez, a relatively low-priced bass, which really sounds fantastic, and I play it a lot too. And so I've got every bass I've ever bought.
Wow. I know the older the bass, the more vintage the bass. Vintage, see, I got that plug
I know
in.
how you. I got that. Thanks for the promo.
The more the vintage the bass, the sweeter the sound that comes out of it. They got some beautiful voices on them.
Yeah.
And I know my brother's finding that out. He was at Thesis for a long time, and he is now co-owner in Guitar Boutique, which is in Phoenix City with Tim O'Brien. And there you go, Mike. There's your plug. And but he's in hog heaven right now because he's just like can pick up any guitar at any time, and you know,
Right.
but he's having a ball. He says it's the stand-up bass that he has every once in a while kind of hurt his wrist. But
I bet. They're heavy. They're not lightweight.
I always tell people
Gigantic,
that
too.
I love playing the bass because it's so simple. You only play one string at a time.
that's true.
Sure,
And,
Ted.
Good point.
And there are 3 guys in our band that play bass better than I do, but I'm the bass player.
Right. Right.
Ted's the man. Ted's the man.
So tell me about your keyboard. Is your keyboard like a special, like handmade?
You know, to be perfectly honest, I'm not a keyboard player.
Ah.
My mom got me a little for one of the first Rolands that ever came out. Had a friend who was a piano player, and he'd given me his old Fender Rhodes. I've still got it in a closet somewhere. But I played a little piano, like most teenagers do,
Right.
you know, chopsticks and that sort of thing. And then I got the job with Nostalgia, and I played a little backup keys, and it's not hard when you got the other guys doing the real work.
Right, yeah.
But after I'd gotten out of it for a while and decided I wanted to get back into music after the Holiday Inn had shut down and everything, I tried getting into a band as a vocalist. And nobody was looking for just a vocalist.
Right.
So I had to buy a keyboard as a catalyst to get into a band.
Wow.
So I bought a Roland, very, very nice Roland RD300NX, and still don't know how to split and layer the thing. I still don't know how to get all the techniques going. I have no idea how to play it.
Right.
But I stand up there
She
and act
does
like I
a
do.
great job. Don't let her kid you. Don't let her kid you.
I'm learning a lot. I really am. Really am. Now, if I can find somebody else to come and play it so I can remember the words and sing a little bit, I'll be all right.
Now, this is we're going to close this up shortly, but I do want to do the pimping section.
There he goes again.
The pimping
Yeah,
section.
there he goes.
We like to pimp out all the things that you want everybody to know about. Where can they find you online? Where can they find you playing? Where can they join your band or whatever, hire your band?
Well, I will say, first and foremost, that we are always looking for anybody who would like an opportunity to jump in there and help us out from time to time, because from one booking to the next, people have obligations, and we may need someone to help us, or we may want to add for a special engagement. Somebody to be permanent with us on a semi-permanent basis while Jose is out for the summer.
Right.
A twin guitar player, which we had for a little while until he got a better offer of more money. But you know, so
Cutthroat
if
business,
you're
y'all.
interested in playing drums, if you're interested in playing some lead guitar or whatever, just do contact us. It's no guarantee we're going to have anything, but we would love to hear from you. As far as how to get in touch with us, there's our Facebook pages. Everybody's into social media, so get in touch with Ted Ellis on Facebook, or me, Alicia Summers McLeod. I just go by Alicia. Or you can go to the Vintage page, just plain Vintage Facebook page.
And our contact info is on there.
Yes.
And we actually are displaying that right now on the screen, and
Wonderful.
you can see several of their videos. Since we didn't get to play the one that I had, guys, and that's my fault.
I may have a couple in storage that I can let you use. I think we've got some that we made or that somebody made that you could use.
Videos?
Yeah.
Well,
They wouldn't be on here live, but if you wanted to
Right,
put some
yeah.
in with your recorded stuff, you could.
Well, I actually would like to shoot you guys again,
That's
but
for me.
at a place that is not the tavern.
Boy, you really got to watch out that language. You know, you're going to shoot somebody. You're going to. So
And
I have
he-
to, I
and he
have
said
to
that
ask.
live.
I have to ask before we go. I don't know if you've even seen this. I know it's on CMT, and I want to ask your. I guess about the modern about how they're portraying it. But have you seen the show Nashville?
You know, as a matter of fact, Tim McDonald is a buddy of mine. He plays keyboard in the band that is on Nashville, the series. And to be honest, I don't really watch TV. I fall asleep every night to Law and Order or House or one of those things. It takes me about 5 or 6 nights to finish an episode. I don't watch TV. An occasional movie here and there. But have I seen Nashville? No.
No.
Sorry, Tim.
No, that's,
But now there were several of the people. The two major male stars were there that night backstage when I did the 65th birthday.
the guy that plays the
Yeah.
Deacon character?
Yes,
Which
yes.
is probably one of the
Yes.
most excellent actors
we sat
I've
there
seen
top
in a long
ages.
time.
He drew tornadoes in my book. Yeah.
Fun.
Wow. You know, he used to be well, he is. He's an excellent stand-up comedian.
He is that.
He
was
used to be
funny
on
back
Whose
there.
Line Is It Anyway? He appeared on there pretty regularly for, oh gosh, I guess 10 years.
Well, he kept everybody pretty calm, cool, and collected with the storm just really raising Cain overhead.
Yeah,
he's a cool guy.
seems to be a pretty nice guy.
Very,
But
very.
the reason I even went to that subject was I know that when they were filming and when they still do film, they actually use a lot of the studio musicians from
Mm-hmm.
Nashville. And I just didn't know maybe if you were acquainted with them or.
You know, I know I've dropped a lot of names, but to be honest, I don't really know any of these people just really personally. I mean, we've crossed paths many times, primarily thanks to Lori and Herb, because a lot of their friends have now become my friends. But we don't socialize except when we're there. I don't know them that personally, but I do know a lot of those people. And the ones that I have met, for the major part, are extremely nice, down to earth, just regular people, just good folks.
Excellent. Sounds great. I wasn't trying to plug the show or anything. I was just kind of leading
Oh,
up to a
that's
question. See if maybe she was acquainted with some of the people that had appeared on that show.
Not in a big way.
Not in a big way. Well, anyway, guys,
I wish.
a lot of people appear on that show.
Well, real quick before we go, what advice would either of you give to aspiring musicians or somebody trying to do something?
If
Go
you
first.
love it, play it. But don't quit your day job.
That's right. I would pretty much say the same thing. And absolutely, if you love your music, pursue it, even if it's in the privacy of your garage or whatever. And if you want to get out there and perform in front of an audience, I will tell you, don't get nervous on stage. Get nervous off stage. Because stage is yours. That's your turf.
And that's when it's really fun.
Yeah. I used to shake like a leaf going out in the audience to make personal contacts, but put me back on the stage and I was comfortable because that was my territory.
Yeah. Fun. Good advice?
That
Tim?
didn't mean I didn't fall on my face, though.
No, I was just thinking, speaking of shaking like a leaf, we had a cold snap here today, guys, so it's
Yeah, I
getting
know.
kind of cool.
Time to bring in some kerosene heaters.
Unfortunately, I don't have heat in this garage, so
Well, we're coming into summer. It'll be all right, and then we'll be like begging
we'll
for
be
air conditioning.
sweltering, begging for air
You
conditioning.
can come out to our shack. We've got the vintage rehearsal shack right
Oh,
there,
cool.
right there in Salem,
Yeah.
and you can come out and get some good stuff out there sometime.
Cool.
It's a fun place.
Yeah, shoot a rehearsal. That'd be awesome. Well, Tim, you got anything else before we go?
No, not that I can think off the top of my head, but
Well, appreciate
sorry
you.
about the commercials, guys.
Well, thanks for having us, Brian.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Alicia?
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
I
I never
thoroughly
get to
enjoyed
sit
it.
down and talk to you very much.
I know, right?
We're both going different directions.
All the time. And Ted, great to meet you.
And you.
And I really enjoyed, I'd like to say once again a shout out. We didn't get to show the video because the sound didn't quite work out, but
Oh, I'll say one more thing. Can I do this?
please do.
Private parties. We're ready. Trio all the way up to the full band. We
Yep.
need some private
Come and
parties.
get us.
Yeah. Love to do private parties.
And they sound excellent. Take my word for it.
Thank you, Brian.
And till next time, Ted, Alicia, I'm Brian Mallard for the show. You got Tim over there behind the computers running everything, by the way. Sorry, Tim, didn't mean to leave you out.
That's okay. Thank